Start. Good morning, everyone. Myself, Sayyam Shah from the group 17 of the Tuesday batch. So today we will be presenting the use of RTSP and socket programming in this video. So let's start. So let's first talk about the server PY. On running server.py will establish a server using the RTSP localhost and server port using the blind for the client connections. We use this socket then which is inside the while loop, right? And this while loop will run in the infinity. So now let's talk about the implementation of the server, like how this server will get implemented. The implementation of the server will be found inside the server.server worker.py. We have created a class over here which is called the server worker class that is having the run function, right? So here is the run function. The run will create a new thread to receive RTSP request from the connection client and start the thread. Then the request is then sent to the function which receive RTP request. And then this receiver spread is created to receive an RTSP request from the client. Then the request message is passed to the function process RTSP request. The file number, the file name, and the sequence number are then extracted here from the message. We will then send the current status update here in the play and request a new thread will be created. This thread will process the send RTP process and also it will initiate that the same process. Now the process pause request and the process tear down request. The pause and the tear down will set the internal thread flag. The internal thread flag to true by the use of the set method, right? So now let's move to the send RTP. The send RTP will continuously packetize data frame and will send a packet at an interval of 0.5 seconds. At every 0.5 seconds, a packet would be sent. On getting a pause or tear down. On getting a pause or tear down, the send RTP on getting a reply, on getting a reply message, a reply will be sent. It will only send the reply if the port number is 200 because we know 200 okay means the condition is valid, which we as we did in the Wireshark. And the port is not 200, let's say it's 40, 4 or 500, then it will send a simple message. Then the market RTP packets. The RTP packet PI, then RTP packet PI will be called the RTP packet classes and that are defined over here. This will encode the data by adding a 12-bit long header. Now the get RTP will get the packet. This get packet will return the RTP packet by concatenating the header and the payload. Now the encode function will encode the RTP packet with the header files and the payloads. Now let's look at the client launcher PY. So this client launcher takes the server address and the server port which is over here and command line argument. As a command line argument, a new client is created in this function. A new client is created and a main loop is run using this take object. Now let us take a look at the client PI, where the client PI is implemented. Sorry, where the client is implemented. So let's move to the client PY and here the client will be implemented. So now in this we will talk about the init function. The unit function, the unit will set the object variable inside the guide for connecting the server. The create widget will set the GUI to display the video. So now let's talk about the connect server, which is over here. The connect server will connect the server through the server address and the server port. Now, if the connection is failed, then a warning message will be shown over here. And now let's move and talk about the setup button. So the setup movement, it will send an RTSP request that will be set up and it will send a request event. Like it will send the request. In short terms, I can say it will send a RTSP request. Here the tear down will call the exit client function, which will send a request and tear down the request. In this video, for example, if we have played the video, then by using the tear down, the video will stop playing. the window will be closed. Similarly, the pause button will pause the movie, and the play button is used to play the movie with sending and play RTSP request. So now let's talk about the listen RTP. So the listen RTP is over here. Inside the infinite while loop, which is over here, it will receive an RTP request inside the infinite while loop and decode the data into header and payload. Only the frame of the latest pack will be considered, and we will ignore the out of order package. The image is then displayed on the GUI using the update movie. If we will receive any pause or tear down, the loop will break itself, and if the acknowledgement is received, then the RTP socket will also close. Now here is the requesting. So now let's move to the send RTP request here. If the request ring is sent to the server, which will be based on the request type and the current state, we will increment the RTSP sequence by 1 and create the request ring, which will then send through the RTSP socket using the RTSP server. So now let's talk about the receiver TSP reply function. It will receive a response from the server and pause the reply. The RTSP socket is shut down if we will get request, and if the get request is equal to tear down. So now let's talk about the pass RTSP reply. The pass RTSP reply function will update the site based on the request sent only when the port return is 200, which is over here. So now let's talk about the open RTP report. It will create an RTP port with the timeout interval of 0.5 seconds, which is written over here. And also it will blind the port to the socket. The handler function, which is here, it will be called when the take in window is explicitly closed. So now let us try to run the program. So let me click the run program here, and I will write the Python server py and run it on the port 1025. Now let me call another Python functions, which are Python client launcher py. It will also run on the local port localhost. It will run on the same localhost 1025. I am giving 5000 over here, and let's add my movie, JPG, which is the movie which will be running. And you can see that there is a screen over here which is appearing. Now let's just click the play but setup button. Now as we can see here, the message has been sent and the message has been received in the first window. Now we will click the play button. So you can see that the play button is running over here, and our video has been started. And here we can see that the sequence number has are updating at the receiver's end. Okay, and we can also pause it. So this is how our function will be running, and we can also tear down this. So the window will close as I explained. Thank you.